Welcome. Welcome everyone to the UNA USA virtual commencement ceremony. I'm so excited to be celebrating the class of 2021 and all of our amazing youth members from across the country who've been a member of UNA USA while completing their studies at the high school, undergraduate, or graduate levels. We're celebrating all of you tonight, and we have a whole host of various folks who want to congratulate you and encourage you, provide words of inspiration, as well as continue to show you ways that you can stay connected to the UNA USA community post-graduation. We encourage you to use the chat throughout the evening to communicate with each other, to share a little bit about yourself, any post-graduation plans that you have, any questions that you have about UNA USA and how to stay involved as a young professional. We're here to answer all of those throughout the evening. And to tell you a little bit more about what you can expect from tonight's program, we will start off with welcome remarks from our UNA USA Executive Director, Rachel Pittman. We'll hear keynote remarks from Justin Liu, our UNA USA Youth Observer to the United Nations. We'll hear highlights from the graduating class of 2021. Our campus fellows, Alyssa and Nate, will share a little bit of their highlights from their experience and what they've seen working in their UNA regions with various universities and high schools. And then we'll recognize the graduating students who've registered for tonight's ceremony. Your names will be read. For those who are joining last minute, we want to celebrate you as well. We'll celebrate all the different states that are part of the UNA USA network and all students. Again, feel free when it's your region to share in the chat a little bit about yourself and your post-graduation plans. And we'll end tonight talking a little bit more about what it means to be part of UNA USA for a lifetime. And with that, I turn it over to Rachel Pittman, our Executive Director, for welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Anna, and good evening, everyone. On behalf of the UNA USA National Office and the UNA USA National Council, I want to congratulate you on graduating and achieving a major milestone in your life. I also want to thank you for sharing your precious time with us as a UNA USA member, as I know you could have used that time to study longer, volunteer with other organizations, or just hang out with your friends. However, like many of your peers, you understood that the work of the United Nations is vital and needs your voice. Thanks to you, more people understand why advancing the 17 Sustainable Development Goals can end poverty, fight inequality, protect the planet, and drive economic growth and prosperity. And members of Congress understand why constituents like you are advocating for full US funding for the UN so life-saving resources can reach the most vulnerable. As you embark on the next milestone in your life, please note that there is still a home for you at UNA USA through our 100+ community chapters. Just like campus chapters, community chapters are located across the United States and also are the heart of UNA USA. They help grow our base of grassroots advocates, which in turn strengthens our voice on Capitol Hill. They participate in in-district meetings to meet with their members of Congress during recess, so they can share why the UN matters to them personally and the importance of UN funding. They engage local political and business leaders to localize the SDGs in their communities. They even write letters to the editor to position the UN as a vital organization that needs US support. And most importantly, they champion the work of the UN to their communities through public events, community partnerships, and volunteer activities, just like campus chapters. Now, I have to share with you the first time I was brought to tears because of the impact of our work was through what we do at UNA USA. And this was at a community chapter. In 2016, UNA USA launched the Adopt a Future program, which raised desperately needed funds for schools supporting refugee children who lived in UNHCR camps in Dadaab and Kakuma, Kenya. As part of this launch, we asked campus and community chapters to raise awareness for hosting back to school events for resettled refugee children in the United States. I was fortunate to attend one of the first events at a community chapter with UNA Orlando. I, along with chapter members, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority members who were our partners at the time, and other local volunteers, handed out over 100 backpacks with school supplies to children and their parents who were recently settled from Syria, South Sudan, and other hard-hit places. During the event, I talked to this one Syrian family who shared their struggles and appreciation for community support. I knelt down to say hello to their adorable daughter, who was about 3 years old. She did not speak English, so she just smiled at me as she tightly held her new UNA USA backpack. And looking in her big, beautiful brown eyes, I was reminded that parents, no matter where they come from, want their children to be safe, healthy, educated, and live a full life. And that's when I teared up, because as UNA USA, we can help make that happen. We can advocate for the most vulnerable and address issues in our communities, such as quality education, clean water and sanitation, zero hunger, and decent work, to name a few. As stewards of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it's in our DNA to make a difference. Now, the point of this story is not to tell you that community chapters will make you cry, but to encourage you to include UNA USA in the next chapter of your life, because your participation in civic engagement is making a difference. For those of you who are in an area without a community chapter, please become a member at large to stay connected. And if you ever want to start your own community chapter, we will be happy to support you. So once again, congratulations on a job well done. And I look forward to seeing you at our upcoming virtual Week of Action, which is June 6th through the 11th, or at a community chapter event near you. Thank you, congratulations, and stay well.
Thank you, Rachel. I think you just so eloquently put the great connections and similarities between campus and community chapters. And now I turn it over to our youth observer, Dustin Liu, who's been serving this past year, connecting youth voices to the work of the UN. And I'm really excited to hear his advice and remarks for the class of 2021.
Well, thanks so much, Anna and Rachel. Thank you so much for those really beautiful opening remarks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're clicking in from. It is just such an honor to celebrate this really momentous moment together. And let me start by acknowledging that as a fellow member of the class of 2021, this is not how I expected my graduation to look, but there is one key element that remains the same that is true in this ceremony as well, which is the fact that we're in community with one another. And in a time of social isolation, I've been reminded of the power of human connection, and I cherish every opportunity that I have to connect with others, albeit through glass screens. So I just really appreciate this community. I want to start there. To acknowledge that this is certainly not the way in which we thought that we would be graduating together. And many of us have spent the year online. I myself moved back into my childhood bedroom on Long Island, New York, which was both a grounding and super disorienting experience, but it was really moving back into my turquoise colored childhood bedroom where I reacquainted myself with my old collection of storybooks and fairy tales. Old friends that I hadn't visited in years, from Miss Frizzle on the Magic School Bus to Chinese folklore to an illustrated version of High School Musical, and of course my friends from Hogwarts. And rereading these books felt like I was jumping into a time machine. I was whisked back to my younger years where I spent hours pouring into these books and characters. And I also saw myself being strangely grounded by how I saw in these stories in my own life, the ways in which these stories have manifested in my own values and actions, all that led me to who I am here before you today. From Miss Frizzle, I learned how learning wasn't contained in the classroom. And to this day, my interest in education is in pushing the bounds of what we believe to be possible in the classroom. From Chinese folklore, I gained my moral compass, stories of what happens when you waste rice at the bottom of your bowl at the dinner table, to stories that ingrained a really deep sense of respect for my elders. From High School Musical, I gained a really warped perception of what high school was going to be, but most importantly, it reminded me that I could bring music in every space that I entered. And from Hogwarts, I gained countless memories and lessons. I feel almost as though I was a student alongside Ron, Ginny, and Harry. And I share that because I carry these stories in every space that I enter. I carry the stories because stories stay with us. The story that Rachel just shared will stay with me. I share this because I am reminded that there is something so similar, so human about the stories that we tell. And there is something so similar about the stories that I grew up reading and the stories that I hear today. I ground my remarks in these stories because they remind me of the journey that you all have completed this year. I think it's important to acknowledge that no matter what land a story is set, no matter who the main character is, there is a rhythm to the stories we tell. And I think no one captures this better than Joseph Campbell, an American mythologist, a writer and lecturer, and he describes this in his book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And I think you'll find it sounding very familiar. He describes that the hero's journey starts with a clock. It can be thought of as a cycle where our hero starts in the ordinary world and moves into a new space, a special or magical world. 12 o'clock, the hero's story starts in our ordinary land. Let's call this home. 1 o'clock, a call to adventure, the hero receives a message. Perhaps it's an invitation, maybe an acceptance letter. 2 o'clock, assistance, the hero needs someone wiser, someone older, perhaps a mentor, a professor, someone that you're meeting through UNA USA. 3 o'clock, the departure, the hero crosses from the threshold of his normal safe home and enters this new and special world. Perhaps it's a new learning environment or something that you're discovering in your own work. 4 o'clock, trials. Being a hero is really hard work. Our hero slays a dragon, escapes a trap, in our case, a test, an essay, a group project, and let's be honest, that is sometimes scarier than slaying dragons. 5 o'clock, approach. It's time to face our biggest ordeal, the hero's worst fear. For me, microeconomics. For many others, perhaps other subjects that they had to endure. 6 o'clock, crisis. This is the hero's darkest hour. For me, finals week, fall 2018, perhaps it's coronavirus. You pick your hour. 7 o'clock, treasure. As a result, the hero claims some treasure, special recognition, or power in this moment of commencement. 8 o'clock, result. We're moving out of this special and magical world. 9 o'clock, after all this adventure, the hero returns to their ordinary world. 10 o'clock, a new life. The quest has changed this hero. 11 o'clock, all the plot lines get straightened out. And 12 o'clock, back home, because nothing is quite the same after the hero's journey. It's the perfect place to start a new adventure. And I share this because Campbell says that the hero's journey is existing in so many different cultures and so many different stories because we're innately drawn to stories that describe one's path to leave one's comfort zone, to have a transformative experience, to recover, and then do it all again. And I think we often put so much distance between ourselves and the heroes we admire. We often think that this is happening in a far off land. We place a lot of distance between ourselves and magical lands, between fiction and non-fiction, when in reality, they are more similar than not. I think about this year as an opportunity to reassess that distance. My term as the youth observer feels straight out of a science fiction novel. A global pandemic, a collective experience of loss, converging economic and public health crises, and through it all, we've reimagined a world and brought us to a new place, a new home, where change-making and community building happens online, where I meet young people from all around the world with a touch of a button, where every young person has a front row seat at the United Nations General Assembly, and where we have the ability to reimagine what is possible. And what I hope to leave you with in these brief remarks is a newfound familiarity in those stories that are tucked back in the corners of your childhood bedroom closet, a reassessment of how different we often assume Hogwarts is from the places in which we are graduating, and to reassure you and remind you that you yourself are a hero with a story worth telling. This past year, I have a new set of fairy tales and stories to revisit, stories that I've heard from countless young people that I've met through my term, stories that I've heard directly from UNA USA youth leaders. And all of you on this call are people that I would call heroes, pushing the world towards extraordinary new heights. And to end, I want to remind you that you're part of a larger story. You're part of a larger book. You are part of a constellation of stories in the UNA USA community. I know for a fact that you're part of mine. You are a part of a grassroots movement. You're a part of UNA's history, joining the ranks of First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt as part of the largest network of UN advocates worldwide. And when I think and imagine about what UNA USA represents, when I think about this movement of young Americans standing up for the United Nations, when I think about everyone on this call pushing towards a better world, I think that that sounds straight out of a storybook. And as we begin to imagine and pursue a future where sustainable development goals are achieved, I can't help but think that someday, sometime soon, I'll be visiting storybooks with you all as characters, described as the heroes I know you all to be. So I want to end by thanking you again for joining together in a moment of such isolation to find community, to find change making, and to develop your own change making capacities through your leadership in UNA USA. It has been such a deep honor to work alongside you all in this past year, and I wish you best of luck on the many more journeys ahead. And I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Dustin. I think that was so helpful to reflect on all those different aspects of the journey. I know it can feel like a blur sometimes, so to break it down by each part, I think just helps everyone reflect on this amazing experience they've gotten to have and gets everyone excited for the new chapters they're yet to write as they graduate. So thank you. I now want to turn it over to two students who've been a part of the UNA network for quite some time. They've been leaders in their respective chapters, and they've taken that leadership to the next level by being part of our campus fellows, who are peer-to-peer campus leaders from across the country representing their various regions. And these two students, Alyssa and Nate, are graduating this year. And so we're really excited to give them the floor, give them the spotlight to share a few reflections on their highlights from their personal UNA USA experience, as well as their experience as campus fellows. And so Alyssa and Nate, I turn it over to you.
Wonderful. So I guess I'll start things off. I really wanted to congratulate everybody on being here today. A little bit about myself. My name is Alyssa Pasco. I'm from Northeastern University in Boston, and I work with chapters also in the Northeast, ranging from Maine to Pennsylvania. And it's really been incredible to get to know so many members of UNA USA over the past year and see the incredible creative, inspiring, and influential work all of your members have created. Regardless of how many years you've been active in UNA USA, whether it's just been a semester or if it's been all 4 years of college, you all have had an incredible impact on your communities and beyond. And especially looking at this past year and the adaptation that you've all had to do, it's really been incredible how you all hit the ground running as the US and our communities have really adapted to things. And despite truly unprecedented times, we have all persevered, and I applaud each and every one of you on what you've done. And it's important to note that this has been a difficult time for everyone mentally, financially, and emotionally. And I really appreciate the way that so many members of UNA USA have supported others, both in their own chapter and nationally. To highlight some of the incredible work I've seen, we've had a number of chapters do incredible work focusing on women's rights, racial justice, environmental protection, LGBTQ issues, human rights, poverty alleviation, and sustainability, to name just a few. You all have addressed all 17 areas of the Sustainable Development Goals through meetings with Congress, volunteering, documentary nights, and events in collaboration with other organizations and nonprofits. And although your time as an undergraduate in UNA USA is coming to an end, there are clearly so many opportunities for you to continue with UNA USA in the future, and also just continuing your work as powerful youth, focusing on global change and supporting your communities.
Thank you so much. Nate, over to you.
Great, thank you, Anna, and good afternoon, fellow graduates. It's an honor to celebrate your accomplishments with you this evening. As our Southern Region Campus Fellow, I've had the privilege of working with many of you over the past year, as your chapters have helped to fulfill the UNA's mission of educating, inspiring, and mobilizing Americans to support the principles and vital work of the United Nations and its agencies. Our chapters and chapter leaders have accomplished amazing things over the past academic year. from paint and chat nights at UNA Belmont to UN Day celebrations at many of our campuses from CUA to USF. You have continued to engage your campuses and your communities in the midst of these very trying times. And while we do serve as instruments of change, many of our campus chapters have also been able to have a little bit of fun. At Emory and Liberty University, each held movie nights over the past year. And in addition to this, many of you have contributed through advocacy and outreach efforts. At the University of Louisville, you hosted a former US ambassador to the UN for a virtual Q&A. Meanwhile, giving back to their community, our very active chapter at the University of Guam hosted a toy and book drive to benefit a local hospital. A number of you have also continued to serve to amplify the voices of those who too often go unheard in our communities. From UT in Texas, who became civically engaged and served the local homeless community, to many of our chapters such as UNA Howard, who have had a special series to highlight each one of the UN's SDGs, to Salisbury, who hosted Dr. Arun Gandhi for a lecture as part of a lecture series. We truly could not do all of these great things without you. And as you graduate, as has been so eloquently stated before, please remember that the UNA journey does not end here by any means. Please continue to engage with both your campus chapter that you're leaving as alumni, but also with the community chapter as well. Thank you for all that you're doing, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of the great work across our southern region and at large across our nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alyssa and Nate. I thought those were just some really fun examples that you were able to pull out of the work that our different campus chapters have done this year. They've stayed creative, they've stayed resilient, and they've stayed trying to connect everyone as much as possible. And I really want to thank both of you for your leadership as campus fellows and keeping those connections really strong. So we really appreciate you. Thanks for that on the ground look at what our campus chapters have been up to. And now we turn the program over to the recognition of our graduating students. So this is where we really get to recognize everyone who registered for commencement tonight, as well as all of the graduating students. There's too many to fully name everyone. We wish we could, but in order to keep our program going, we were only able to name a few of who registered, as well as being able to name all the different states that our UNA USA chapters represent. And so what we'll do for this portion of recognizing our graduating students is that UNA staff and members of the UNA USA National Council will be reading the names of students and offering brief words of congratulations or advice to you all. As your region is named, we'll name all the states in that region. Feel free to type in the chat, give us exclamation points, give us what you're excited about, what you're planning to do post-graduation. If you're here as a parent, if you're here as an advisor, or as just a general UNA USA member, we also invite you to participate in this portion as well, sharing your own words of advice and congratulations for the graduates as we go along. And so with that, we'll get started and we'll go region by region. Starting with the Mid-Atlantic region, we have Blair Jacob Mignard from UNA Westchester. Blair Jacob wrote in and said, as a reminder to the graduating class, you are stronger than you think. Arun Singh from UNA Rutgers also wrote in with some words of advice and just thanks for their UNA experience. Thanks, Arun, for being a great chapter leader at our UNA Rutgers chapter. Danielle from New York also wrote in and reminded everyone that your journey is just beginning. Your journey with UNA USA is just beginning. So we want to recognize these students as well as all the students from New York and New Jersey in our Mid-Atlantic region.
Hello, everyone from the Mideast region. Want to congratulate all the students, and Ona Nelson from UNA Howard, Kayla Bauer from UNA University of Delaware, Minako Furukawa from the UNA National Capital Area, Keila Ortega, also from the UNA National Capital Area, Francesca Arnaud, Nate and Hannah from UNA Salisbury University chapter, and all the students from Delaware, District of Columbia, Kentucky, Maryland, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. I'd like to say congratulations, students. Best wishes and encouragement in your future endeavors and becoming champions for great humanitarian causes. Please continue to be civic-minded and a more informed global citizens with UNA USA. You're highly valued as members. As you continue onward in your life's journey, please retain your UNA USA membership with this great organization to enrich your life. Graduation is a wonderful milestone and a memorable event. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you. And I'd love to recognize graduating students from the Northeast region, Sydney Hines from Connecticut, Alyssa Pascoe, who we just heard from today from UNA USA Northeastern University, who says, here's to continuing our journey as passionate, ambitious global change makers. Elvira Lejeskivisk, hopefully I pronounced that right, from UNA Boston University, and all students from Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. We are so, so appreciative of everything that you've been through. And Elvira was a UNA intern as well. And we're just so grateful for all the contributions that every single student has made to UNA USA. We're just so grateful. And in terms of advice, I would say to relax and take a well-deserved break, because you have accomplished what was an extremely difficult task to accomplish. You deserve all the rest. You deserve all the care that you can give yourself. And don't be afraid if you don't know what the future holds. Regardless of whether you know what you're going to do or not, this is a time to celebrate, and this is a time to just embrace yourself for everything that you are and everything that you've accomplished. And we're just giving you a huge big hug from UNA USA. Thank you.
Hi, from the Southeast region. This is Dr. Eileen Davis Jerome, congratulating graduates, parents, educators, and mentors for a job well done. We celebrate you while celebrating the United Nations global goals. The world is watching. The future is yours. Continue advocating for U.S. support for the UN. Remember, wherever you go, think globally, act locally. Best wishes to you and yours for much success. And wherever you go, invite new friends to join us. And of course, I remind you in the chat room of the link that you should cut and paste for your friends. A special shout out for our Southeast region graduates. From UNA Broward County chapter, congratulations, Destiny Dawson, who I know personally as a chapter secretary, and congratulations to Zoe Fisher, Broward County chapter, who has served as a UNA USA Leadership Fellow, our parliamentarian for our chapter, and who is a star internationally with the MUN Impact Program. I would like to introduce my fellow Southeast Regional Rep, Sanskriti Diva. Please continue.
Yeah, we would also like to congratulate Emma Chambers from South Carolina, who tells everyone good luck in your future endeavors, and all of the students from Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, Puerto Rico, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Congratulations on graduating during a global pandemic. That is an accomplishment within itself. The entire Southeast region and UNA USA is so, so proud of you, and we are so inspired by you. At such a young age, you have taken steps to become a part of something bigger than yourself, from UNA Puerto Rico, helping Puerto Rico join the UN Islands Network, to UNA NCSSM, who has helped create 3D print PPE to distribute to nurses and doctors during the pandemic. At a young age, you guys have inspired so many. And as you take your next steps into the world, we can't see what you do. We can't wait to see what you do. And we can't wait to support you in any way we can. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome and thank you. My name is London Bell, and I am from a regional representative from the Great Lakes region. And I just want to send a wonderful congratulations to all of our graduates in the region. And I'd like to give a special congratulations to Naved Alam of Indiana, and all of our chapter members from Central Michigan University, Michigan State University, Northern Michigan University, the University of Michigan, yay, go blue, Resurrection University, Roosevelt University, University of Illinois at Carbondale, Chicago, and Urbana-Champaign, Bradley University, and the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and all students from Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. And I would really love to share with you words from one of my heroes that I think would be very fitting from Mother Harriet Tubman. And she says, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world." And so I just want to congratulate you again. And I look forward to seeing you and your activities in our Great Lakes community chapters.
And now I'm happy to be able to announce from the North Central region the following students: Shamsa Ahmed from Minnesota, Nicole Matson from Minnesota, Bruno, who helped us start our UNA Missouri Military Academy chapter, Buyan Mek from Missouri, and then all of our students from Iowa, Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, and South Dakota. We want to thank you all for being part of the UNA USA network, whether that's as a member at large or a chapter member or as a student or a young professional. We're really excited to have you continue with our network.
Good evening from the representatives of the sensational South Central region. I'm Benita Green Gambrell, and we wanted to collectively congratulate the students on their achievements, their chapter work, their program leadership, and different impacts that they have made throughout the region. We'd like to congratulate Selma Guzman from UNA, University of Texas at Austin.
And thank you, Benita. I'm Dr. Tita Banks, the immediate past chair of National Council. And we have a lot of our universities in this area that we want to congratulate our graduates from. UNA chapters at Concordia University, Houston Community College, University of Houston Downtown, Prairie View A&M University, University of North Texas, University of Texas at Austin, and Oklahoma University. Congratulations. I'm going to turn it over to Aditi.
Aditi, are you still there?
She's muted.
Hi guys, once again, I'm Aditi from UNA Austin, and I congratulate all of you for graduating, especially the students from our South Central region in Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. And a few words of wisdom for everybody is, as you pursue your dreams and continue your work as lifelong UN advocates, make sure to leave the world a better place for generations to come. And with that, go and have some fun, because God knows you all need it.
And now I'd like to congratulate some of the chapters who have done amazing work in our Mid-Pacific region, including UC Berkeley, University of the Pacific, University of Nevada at Reno, Hawaii Pacific University, University of Hawaii Manoa, and all students from Northern California, Hawaii, and Northern Nevada.
And moving on to the Rocky Mountain region, I'm John Dalton, the regional representative, and my seatmate, if you will, Peter Caroon, would also like to say hello and congratulate many of you. He's not able to be here at this moment, but the graduates from the Rocky Mountain region is Ron D'Souza, Southern Arizona chapter, graduating from the University of Arizona. Alyssa Orozco, Arizona State University, Hannah Olson from Weber State University, and we'd also like to congratulate anyone who is graduating from the states of Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. On behalf of all of us in the Rocky Mountain region, congratulations, and we hope that you have a very prosperous future as you move forward. Continue the work that you have done with your chapters at your universities into your community chapters and regional chapters with the United Nations Association here in the United States. And just continue to press forward in all your endeavors. And if you have any questions or any guidance, feel free to reach out to your national council representatives for advice, because it's a lot going on right now, and sometimes you just need to communicate and talk to someone and get some ideas. So congratulations, class of 2021.
Hello, and I'm Bettina Hausmann from San Diego, Southern California region. And we're really proud of the graduating high school seniors from Agura High School, from Polytech School, from the Southwest High School. And my advice is really according to Madiba, which is Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done. Congratulations. I pass it over to Isabel.
Hi, my name is Isabel Trido, and I'm a regional representative. And I want to congratulate to our graduating undergraduates and graduates from California State University, Fullerton, Claremont, UC Los Angeles, and Woodbridge University. And a piece of advice, and a big one, find your purpose. And I'm going to pass it to our president, Barry Simon.
Hello, congratulations to the class of 21. Way to go. You've endured much to get to this point. It might not have always been easy, but way to go. Congratulations. Now, as you go forward in life, as Isabel just said, live life to the fullest, have fun, pursue your passions, and trust. It all works out. Good health and good luck to you always. Have fun and stay involved. Thanks for who you are.
And finally, from our Northwest region, we would like to recognize the following chapters: our Montana State University chapter, our Bellevue College chapter, which I had the pleasure of visiting in February of last year. My last trip with UNA USA was to visit Bellevue, and they're doing amazing work as a new chapter. The University of Washington, University of Oregon, which started this year, despite all the challenges of starting a new chapter during a pandemic, they have started off strong. And our Idaho State University chapter. I want to recognize all of the students from those chapters and all students from Alaska, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Washington who are graduating. Congratulations to you. And that concludes the reading of our graduates, but we do want to leave you with a few closing pieces of advice. This actually came from our UNA USA network. Many of them wrote in to share these words of congratulations, of inspiration with you, really just recognizing you for all the hard work that you've done this year, encouraging you to stay focused, to continue working hard and persevering, to always aim higher, keep pushing through, and continue using your UNA USA experience to increase awareness of global issues in whatever community you may become a part of post-graduation. Take this moment to celebrate everything you've done and everything that you are, and we appreciate you so much. A few closing reminders as well of how to stay involved in UNA and how to celebrate graduation. You saw Alyssa and Nate celebrating with their UNA graduation stoles. Those are for sale in our UNA USA store if you'd like to purchase them for yourself or for another graduating senior. This is a great opportunity to recognize their involvement in UNA USA. We also encourage all of our graduates to update and maintain your contact information with the UNA USA National Office. You can do this by emailing membership@unausa.org and letting us know what your new city is, if you have a new email address aside from your college email address, if you'd like to join a new community chapter. Those are all ways that you can keep your information updated with us And you can stay connected through the Young Professionals Affinity Group. Of course, all UNA USA members are invited to connect on Slack, and that is also where we have our affinity group conversations as a great way to share resources and share best practices for being a young professional and what that is like as a community member. And then finally, we have all of our upcoming events and opportunities that you can continue to stay involved in, whether that is learning more about UN careers, participating in our week of action. As Rachel mentioned at the beginning, this is going to be a great week long of activities, of virtual professional development, of networking with UNA members from across the country, and meeting with your members of Congress. We also have a variety of leadership opportunities that we continue to offer to young professional members. And so whether that is applying to be the next Dustin Liu, the next youth observer, whether that's applying to be a global goals ambassador, representing a particular sustainable development goal that you might be very passionate about, or joining our Emerging Leaders Fellowship. Many of the students recognized today have been part of that. And it's a great way to build your leadership skills as you hope to get more involved with our UNA community chapter network. These are all of the reminders we have for you. This is all available on our website, unausa.org. And we hope that you continue engaging, whether it's these events or others that you help to start or help to lead. We're looking forward to seeing what you do, how you can continue to stay involved, and how we can continue to support you and your growth as a global citizen. Thank you for everyone who was part of today's program, from our National Council, our Youth Observer, our campus fellows, our staff. This really was so special. It inspired me. I hope it inspired many of you. And we're so excited to continue building community. So if everyone who's on the panel, everyone from our National Council Campus Fellows wants to unmute and just do a quick round of applause, I'd like to actually hear it, not just see the Zoom emoji. It feels good to
Yay!
Yay! Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
We're so excited to see what you do next. This concludes tonight's ceremony. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon.